And through all that strengthening, it also brought a huge shift by focusing on the gratitude, shift in abundance in all aspects of life and business. And this has been simply for focusing on gratitude, something so simple that is so powerful.
And up next on the Make Moves Major Conference is Miss Marie Ann Rouse. I love listening to her speak. I met her via Nonkalelo Real Konami's podcast, Rise to Greater Heights. I was had the fortune to speak side by side with her on mental health. She is a holistic therapist and teacher, and she has her own entrepreneurial level that she's going through, and she's going to share y'all some more jewels that will carry y'all through 2021. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Miss Marianne.
And now I am a speaker, author, and serial entrepreneur. And thanks to Mr. Les Brown and other mentors in my life, I am on a mission to inspire and motivate individuals whose nests have been shaken. I am on a mission to help them to let go in order to live and soar. So I would like to actually start with a quote from Brian Tracy. And this is a pretty long quote, so go ahead and pay attention to all the words. So Mr. Tracy says, develop an attitude of gratitude and give thanks to everything that happens to you, knowing that every step forward is a step toward achieving something bigger and better than your current situation. So I'm going to repeat that very last part. Knowing that every step forward is a step toward achieving something bigger and better than your current situation. And so the reason why I share this quote is because we just wrapped up 2020. And 2020 for pretty much everybody has been a crazy year in one way or another. And it is important to realize what has taken place as we move forward and realize that all the steps that we took in 2020 are steps to help us reach something bigger and better in 2021. And it is important also that we move away from some things that happened in 2020, something that seemed to recur quite a bit in a lot of circumstances was negativity, and we need to move away from that negativity in order to be able to move forward. There's a book that I'm reading right now. It's called The Power of Human Connection, and in there, Mr. Cody Bateman, he says, when you are typing or writing words of kindness to another human being, it is not possible to think of anything negative at the same time. Which I was like, wow, I had never thought about that, but that is so true. When I'm focusing on positive thoughts, it is impossible for my mind to have negative thoughts at the same time. And so to achieve bigger and better things this coming year, 2021, there are two things that I'm going to urge you to do on a daily basis. So I'm going to urge you and encourage you to journal about gratitude on a daily basis. Write down 5 to 10 things that you are grateful for. And then the second thing is actually to write a note of gratitude to someone else and send it to that person. And as you start writing notes, you're going to notice different names that are going to be set on your heart. And they're going to be on your heart for a reason, to where they need to hear from you. They need to hear those words of gratitude. And that is called a prompting. Listen to the promptings that are put on your heart and act upon them. And something that I noticed for myself when I started doing that, I've been doing this for over a year, I noticed a tremendous shift. And the shift that I noticed was in strengthening relationships with family. I noticed a shift in strengthening relationships with friends, strengthening relationships with my business associates, and also my clients and customers. And through all that strengthening, it also brought a huge shift by focusing on the gratitude, shift in abundance in all aspects of life and business. And this has been simply for focusing on gratitude. Something so simple that is so powerful. And the book that I'm reading right now, The Power of Human Connection, I am finding so many great nuggets and so much wonderful information in this book that I decided to give away 10 copies of it. And the easiest way for me to do that, I was like, you know what? While I am here on this wonderful platform, the first 10 people to reach out to me on my website, mariannerose.com, they can just fill out the contact me form that is in there. The first 10 people to reach out, I will send them a copy of this book. This is not my book. I am not the author of this book. I am writing a book, but this one is so wonderful that I'm like, you know what? Let me give away 10 copies of it to the very first 10 people that reach out to me. So with that said, I want to go ahead and say thank you for listening. I want to say thank you to all our speakers, and thank you, Lenwood and Nampod Milelo, for organizing this event, and encourage everyone to keep on living in gratitude. So Lenwood, I give it back to you.
And Rouse, with her question that she was presented with, and she will give you some food for thought right now to carry you into the 2021. You can go ahead, Ms. Rouse, unmute yourself.
Yes, aloha. Yes, this is Marianne Roos, and I'm going to be sharing with you about self-care. And when we go on an airplane, it's always brought up that we need to put on our mask first before putting the mask on for others. And it is not something that is done from a selfish standpoint. It is something that is done so that we can give from our cup instead of giving from an empty cup. And when it comes to self-care, there's three important aspects to keep in mind, and they actually tie in together even while they are separate. So there's the physical, and when it comes to the physical, we need to be mindful about our food choices, and that is something that we can do on a daily basis. That when we choose the foods that we eat, we can ask ourselves, is this something that will be for the better of myself, or is this something that is not such a good choice for myself? And also our water intake. How much are we drinking? Those are just very simple steps that we can do along with our physical activity and getting good rest. And that is the type of thing to where sometimes we do not know how to make those choices. And just like in business, where we can get a business coach, we can also get a coach that can help guide us in making those good choices to find our path if we're not sure on how to get there. Now, the next aspect I want to talk about is the mental and emotional. And for that, three little tips that I want to remind you of, for you to incorporate in your daily living, and that's to give thanks and share your gratitude, and also to be kind to yourself, which you have heard a number of times today, and also take some time to unplug and just read, to where that will help to feed your mental and emotional side of your life. And the third aspect is spiritual. Whether spiritual is religious to you or something different, that's not the point. Spiritual is where you get that time to where you just pause and you make time to sit quietly, where you can connect with a higher power, where you can sit down and spend time in nature, for example. So that is what I mean when I share about connecting to your spiritual side, is connecting to that higher power. And one way that you get to do that as well is when you keep your gratitude journal. So it all ties in together, your physical, your mental and emotional, and spiritual. And there are times where we know exactly what we need to do, even when we don't make those choices. So we can keep on asking ourselves, you know what, is that the right choice that I made for myself to make myself a better person for tomorrow? And also, just as a reminder as I wrap up, reminding you to put on your breathing mask before you put on the mask for others, because it is not being selfish. That is how you can serve first. Once again, I'm Marianne Roos. And like I say with a lot of people when I share and in my talks is, if it comes from the heart, it will set you apart. Linwood, back at ya.